Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, it's great to have you here. If you're returning, it's good to see you again. In today's video, what you'll receive is my channeled message plus a page from the Daily Angel Guidance book and also a card from the Universal Love Healing deck. Please note that this is a collective group message, so it may not resonate with you today, and that's simply okay. Come back tomorrow where the message may be more aligned with what you need to know. Now, today is one that so many of us speak about, and we speak about ego. And often it's just looked at as we've got ego or we don't have ego. And so today I want to delve a little bit more into ego and share some information that you may not be aware of. All right. Ego. I like the song Ego is Not a Dirty Word, and it doesn't have to be a dirty word. Did you know that there are actually 7 ego states that we go in? And I'm going to share them with you. Because, you know, we all have ego. We absolutely all have ego. In fact, we have the 7, as I mentioned. And did you know that only one of them, one ego state, is a healthy one? So 6 others do not serve us very well, okay? The 7 states are selfish, so ego state of selfishness, an ego state of being a pleaser, an ego state of being a rebellion, an ego state of being a master manipulator, an ego state of being critical, an ego state of enabling, and finally, the healthy one. And I love this one, and it's where I choose to endeavor to come from, which is the Wise Executor. Yes. So rather than focus on the negative ones, because I believe with the label attached to the ego state, it's pretty clear on the behaviors that would be attached to those ego states. Does that make sense? So the Wise Executor, I felt was really important that I like to cover. And you know me, I like positive. So the healthiest ego state is, of course, the Wise Executor, who operates in the here and the now. Supportive of others, however, not overly enabling. So absolutely, we will come from a place of support. However, you don't pity them or become too compassionate, because as I discussed in an earlier video, compassion actually exists. Part of that, being compassionate, is to show pity. And I didn't like that at all. So when you are absolutely being supportive of someone, when you're in the ego state of Wise Executor, you're there to support them, but you do not enable them to sit in whatever they're going through in that moment. I just wanted to get a bit clearer on that. The Wise Executor ego state has developed their own personal set of moral values, which is used to assist you to make decisions. You are able to strategize to solve problems rather than to manipulate. Yeah? The Wise Executor state develops later than your other ego states. Did you know that? So the nasty ones, the 6 unhealthy ones, develop before the healthy one. And I found that really interesting. I just went, why is that? Is that because it takes a bit more maturity for us to really identify, I've lost what it was bringing me. The moral compass, there we go. Is that why it takes that older age, after 8, to really identify your moral compass? And I'm not going to digress, but it's all just coming through now, because I always say from, when we endure trauma or pain, for some reason, the pain starts to suppress from the age of 7. It's generally around there when I see people that I always get guided to go back to 7 and 8. And, there are so many other reasons, but that's for another video, not this particular video. And in many people, it does not develop until around 8 years old, as I just mentioned, and even later for some people. So it could be that you're not developing that healthy emotional state, the wise executor. You could be 10. So maybe, just maybe, that's partly contributing to kids in some of their behaviors, because that healthy ego, they haven't developed yet. And I found that really interesting. So I've made a note, and I'm going to do some more research on that, because that interested me. For the sake of your relationship, your friendships, your family unit, and your decision-making ability, it is crucial. And I cannot stress enough, it is crucial, and I mean crucial, to make sure that the wise executor ego state is in management as much as possible. Meaning that when, from day to day, in the here and now, that you are consciously aware that you are coming from the wise executor ego state. Does that make sense? It's so important. In order to do that, you really need to know your self-aware and be very consciously aware of your emotional state at all times. Yeah? That's not easy, right? It's absolutely not. You have to first know yourself at a conscious level extremely well. And that's why I do reflections every morning, journaling, and my morning ritual. I do that for the sole purpose of really knowing what emotional state I'm in. And it also enables me to identify what ego is present. Yeah? Believe me, sometimes some of those egos come in that moment of something is said, and I can even feel the switch of my ego. Who's presenting themselves in a conversation? Is it your wise executor, or is it the master manipulator? I don't know why I went to that, but that's what it's guided me. So I'm getting guided to digress a little bit, and I'm just going to go with it. I feel like this is a bit all over the shop, but there's so much information coming through with this, which is blowing me away, because I didn't feel that was going to be the case. So if you're in a relationship and you're arguing, yeah, what ego presents themselves in the heat of the conversation? Is it the selfish ego, the pleaser, the rebellion, the master manipulator, the critical, right, one who criticizes, the enabler, or the wise executor? Who is presenting themselves in your relationship? What ego is presenting themselves? And are you aware of what ego state you predominantly operate from on a daily basis? That is absolutely food for thought. I absolutely believe predominantly, I predominantly operate from the wise executor. Absolutely, the selfish ego comes in. The pleaser even comes in. I can identify with all of those. I believe they're all in us. This is all about saying to manage them, yeah? Because if you're someone that's fiery, just maybe you don't tap into the wise executor enough, who is predominantly present. because you may find that that is partially contributing to the way you're feeling, and not partially, it is. Yeah? So there's a skill of ego insight management. It's the act of managing your own emotional ability to be consciously aware of the cause and reason behind your own actions and identify which ego was in management at the time. How consciously aware are you of your actions? Are you aware of them? And if your answer is straight away, yeah, remember the questions that I ask are for you to mull over, process and digest. Because when you answer instantaneously, often it comes from here. I'm not saying it's not your truth. It just may not be your truth. These are videos and questions during this is to write down, take note, and then go back and reflect. You can do it in your morning ritual, because when I do these, tomorrow morning, I'm going to visit these questions. Because I myself am I believe I'm a continuous work, I'm always working on self. Yeah? Always. I'm a work in progress. We all are. And I love that, because I'm always growing and evolving and learning. And you can never know everything about yourself. And yet there's still triggers for me. There's still things that I need to shift. And I love that, because as if you're going to work out on everything and you're going to be 100%. That's not truth. There's still things that come up for me. The difference is I have all the skills and the abilities to shift it. I don't have a bad day. I don't even believe anyone should have a bad day. I go, why would you settle for that? Yeah? Why would you? Because I go, we don't have to settle for anything. And those who settle really is a real high indication that they're not consciously aware to actually say, I don't have to sit in this. I don't have to feel like this. I choose, and not even have to, I choose not to feel like this. Yeah? So I hope that that's given you a totally different perspective, maybe, some answers for you about ego. Ego's spoken about a lot, and I don't believe, from my perspective, it's not looked at deep enough. We just look at ego from like one angle. Oh, it was my ego. I've always said don't bring ego into a relationship. However, since my research, because I'm always researching new things, I go, there is absolutely one ego state that needs to be the manager when you're in a relationship, and it should be of life. The other ones, yeah, they're going to crop up, but don't allow them to predominantly be your ego. Don't predominantly allow one of the other ones to manage you, because it's not going to serve you very well. So let's move on to what the book has. Oh, we had this not long ago. So light a candle. And really what I'm getting from this is they're asking you to really reflect on what I just shared with you in the channeled message about ego and the 7 states, and what ego state is predominantly managing you right now. Yeah? Is it the Master Manipulator? Is it their enabler? Is it the pleaser? Who is it? And this is why light a candle. In other words, take a breath, reflect. Because when we light a candle, and if you've ever heard of fire staring, it can be mesmerizing to the point that when you're looking at a candle burn and the wick and, the flame, it can absolutely just quieten your mind. It's a way, so if you don't know how to meditate or the breathing doesn't work for you, light a candle or sit in front of a fire and just watch it. See if you can be consciously aware of if your thoughts shut down. Because maybe that's a way for you to really learn to quieten your mind, is just grab a candle, burn it, and sit in front of it and watch the flame flicker. You'd be surprised. There's all different techniques, and maybe this is just one, especially for you to identify your ego states and which one is predominantly managing you right now. So before I read this page, if you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath with me. Just so you can absorb all the goodness from this message. There are wonderful reasons why candles have been used in spiritual ceremonies since ancient times. Their light uplifts the energy and senses of everyone who sees them and is much closer to natural sunlight than artificial illumination in most homes and offices. This is one explanation for why looking at the candle is energizing, much like spending time in bright outdoors can be. Candlelight sparks the imagination to stare into the flame as a focal point for meditation and visualization. You can also light candles to celebrate and commemorate something, since they serve whatever purpose you set for them. Today, light a candle with heartfelt intention as you place the flame of a match to the wick. Think of your intentions such as someone's health, world peace, prosperity, and so forth. Light as many of them as you have aims, and look at each one while holding prayers for what you want. As you extinguish the flame, later, be sure to thank the candle for its support. Thought for today. I light a candle and connect with the brightness within my prayers. The sacred light inside me is reflected in the mirror of the dancing flame. So what a beautiful message, and as it said, it's a visualization and meditation. So it could be that you don't need to quieten the mind. It's visualization that you are coming from a place, the healthy ego, and it's now time to set an intention for whatever it is you want. So what a lovely message. And that's just a reminder to sit and take time and reflect, yeah? And the candle may be your way of quietening. Okay, love. I just come from a place of love, which is the healthy ego, yeah? The wise executor. And when you come from a place of love, it's amazing how life changes for you. And when you don't, you don't go, I want to get angry and I want to get even. And when I don't have time for that, and I don't want to give it my energy. And so when you come from the ego state of wise executor, life just seems so much easier. It means you're not angry. It means you gain such emotional balance. You gain conscious awareness. And you don't feel like the world's after you. You don't feel like people want to take you down if that's, I don't know why I'm even going there, but clearly there's some of you that feel that way. Because that's an ego, you're coming from a place of ego that ego state does not serve you. So really allow and love. And now it's like, for some of you who are in a relationship, it is absolutely time for you to come from a place of love. The ego state that you've been presenting in your relationship has not been serving you very well. And it's not intentional. I am not saying, ever do I say anything that I speak about is never intentional. It's a subconscious that does things. Yeah? It's so important for you to find love for self and come from a place of love with others. Yeah? All right. And I just love that. For me, I look at that image and it's so freeing. She looks so free just with the arms. So free yourself from all the other ego states that don't serve you. And choose the wise executor. Because you have the ability to manage your ego and your thoughts Don't allow your ego and your thoughts to manage you. Yeah? All right, love, 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 love. I will get there. Jeepers, come on. Right. If you would like to close your eyes, take a deep breath with me. Just so you can absorb all the words from this message. Let love guide your speech, thoughts and actions, and the relationship will dramatically improve. Okay, that's why that came up. Know that love heals all things. It illuminates hearts and minds. It opens doors previously closed and reveals pathways previously hidden. Love has but one enemy, and that is fear or ego. Okay, let's add that to it. So be fearless. The next time you are about to react or respond to any situation through fear, stop and replace it with fear with love. You will be amazed by the results that the simple change in attitude brings. It is fear that can shift our ego state. That's what this is. Yeah. Fear can trigger you, and then you can become the master manipulator. You can become the enabler. You can become the pleaser, all due to fear. You can shift your emotional state because you feel that if you go into that ego, it serves you best. I would love for you to be able to identify it when your ego state shifts and then go, I'm not bringing that one in because I know it does not serve me, and try and endeavor to practice, bring yourself back to the wise executor. Bring yourself back. If fear triggers you to shift ego states, when you're consciously aware of it, you have the ability to go, I'm not buying into that state. Thank you, that ego. No, I'm going back and recenter back to wise executor. It takes work. It takes commitment. Yeah? Commitment, which is practice makes permanent. I do it because I don't want to come from any of those other places with other people in my life. That's not kind. It's not respectful. That's my perspective, okay? I only want to present the wise executor to people in my proximity, to people that I love, to my husband. I don't want to bring any of those other egos in. I don't say, I've been them all. I've been all. Absolutely in the past. And I still will more than likely shift through those states. It's seldom, it's far more reduced, and it's seldom, and I pick it up and I go, I don't like that. So it's up to you. And it's crucial, especially for those of you in a relationship. If you're bringing master manipulator or a pleaser or enabler, it's not serving your relationship. Bring yourself back to center and bring back in wise executor, because they have some beautiful values. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would be so grateful if you would like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload tomorrow's video. Remember, you matter. You matter. So invest in you, as you are your most valuable asset. We're always a work in progress. Embrace it rather than feel it as a hard work. Embrace it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I want to thank you for spending your time with me, as I absolutely respect you. Your time is valuable, so thank you. And I really do hope that you got that little something and you get time to rewatch it, maybe write down the questions and find your answers. Absolutely, find your answers. So for today, take care.